See Doug Coby in the 7 New York running a Bugsy Stevens tribute scheme, and there's smoke coming out of the 7 New York of Coby as he goes through turns 1 and 2. It started billowing off the end of the front straightaway, and that car is smoking heavily.
Yeah, that could be trouble as they start to scurry around him. There goes Emmerling again with another pass. Meanwhile, up front, you've got Silk being chased by Bonsignor, Beers, and Johnson, as it has been since the start. And we've got the caution flag.
Caution is out. There's a car stopped along the back straightaway. It's Mike Marshall who has made contact with the outside safer barrier here about 3/4 of the way down the back straightaway at New Hampshire Motor Speedway. Mike making his second Whelen Modified Tour start. Made a start at Thompson Speedway Motorsports Park earlier the year as part of Icebreaker Weekend. Ready to get back after it here at the Magic Mile with Justin Bonsignor and Ron Silk on the front row.
Green flag back in the air, and they're side by side across the stripe and down into turn 1.
Silk sweeping up in front, using that bottom lane of the racetrack. But how about the young Austin Beers out of Northampton, Pennsylvania? Just does not have the launch off turn number 2. He'll give up third, and here comes Bonsignor with another bid for the lead.
Yeah, that outside line is the way to go, particularly coming out of the turn and firing down the straightaway. And that evident again by Bonsignor, able to sweep underneath and make the pass as they head down the front stretch. As he continues to fade down on the inside, can't get back up into the draft and continue with a move back to the front.
Talk about cars that are on the move. Look at the car who rides in 6th. That's Eric Goodale in the 58 machine. Goodale has had a rough season, and he split this car with his cousin Timmy Solomito, who's driven for a couple of races. They made wholesale changes to their approach coming into this race. Eric's been extremely frustrated. He's driven from 15th up to 6th. You see some good action here. There's Matt Swanson in the number 89 car back up front. Silk able to get back ahead of Justin Bonsignor as they make their way down the back straightaway. Bonsignor will cross him up again midway down the back straightaway and try to jump back out in front. 6 cars in that lead draft. Has now got about 20 car lengths back to the 7th place machine as they continue to try to create some distance back to Ryan Preece, who rides by himself in 7th.
Well, those two guys, Lutz and Beers, trying to hook up together and get back to that lead pack. They've been pretty spread out at this point.
While we were talking about Austin Beers, Jake Johnson has gone by Ron Silk to move into 2nd. And Justin Bonsignor starting to do what he did a year ago. We saw a race that had a long green flag run at the beginning, and Justin Bonsignor walked away from the rest of the field little by little. I asked him yesterday, and I said, is that what you want to do, or do you need to back into everybody else so that way you don't get so far ahead that you use all your equipment up? He said, honestly, if I can break free of the pack and not have to worry about somebody challenging me for the lead like we've seen over the first 37 laps of this one, he says, I'm going to do that. And you could already start to see Justin Bonsignor trying his best to stretch his legs and open it up, but you see drivers like Jake Johnson staying right with him, drivers like Kyle Bonsignor, who moves into 3rd. They want to stay right with this lead pack and not let Justin walk away from everybody else. They want to stay right with this lead pack and not let Justin walk away from everybody else.
Yeah, he got around Ron Silk pretty quick to take over that 3rd spot. I would like to catch up to those first 2 and get back into that draft as they race down the front stretch.
Now, Ryan Preece is starting to go backwards in that 40 car. He had raced up to 7th. He appears to be off the pace as he rolls down into turn number 1, and Jake Johnson, he's not off the pace. He takes the race lead, so lots happening here as Johnson goes to the point. Bonsignor rallies back to the inside of the back straightaway, and Ryan Preece off the pace.
Yeah, Johnson, knowing what he had, made that move on Bonsignor, at least a test for getting to the front, as Bonsignor is able to make the pass again in 3 and 4 and get back to the point.
You see Ryan Preece on the right side of your screen there was up to 7th. He's now 12th. He's still out on track, but doesn't have the pace that he once had as he looks to get past here once again. Chase Dowling in the 44 car, the Tinio family car here this weekend. It appears as though possibly under power for that 40 car of Ryan Preece as he is limping around the racetrack here, well off the pace, and he's going to come down pit lane. He drops to the inside in turn number 3. Ryan Preece on the apron will head for pit road to try to diagnose the problems on that 40 car.
Yeah, that's a tough one. Again, he had some speed yesterday in practice and had led those guys that had to start in the back, the way he had moved his way up almost to the lead draft, but now heading to pit road for a problem on that number 40.
So 41 laps in, Ryan Preece on pit road, And the caution flag now out. One car slow on the front straightaway. It's Gary McDonald, and his car limping across the line, continues to roll on. Justin Bonsignore comes across the line in the 51 car and will take that yellow flag. 42 laps in, second caution of the day in the Mohegan Sun 100 here at New Hampshire Motor Speedway. Justin Bonsignore is shown as the race leader. Pit road is open, the field on pit lane to try to get new Hoosier Racing tire. Justin Bonsignore comes in as the race leader. They'll go around to get right side tires put on his car. It looks like it'll be a 4-tire stop. Other cars, different strategy. Kyle Bonsignore, a quick stop for him. He's going to be one of the first cars off of pit road, along with Austin Beers and Tim Conley, some of the first to exit pit lane. Justin Bonsignore and that team, some of the other race leaders, including Ron Silk, deciding to take multiple tires here on this pit stop. Silk, though, stalls the car exiting pit lane, had a work around Trevor Catalano. He loses a couple of spots on pit road as a result.
As they come around to complete 47 laps.
Green flag flies from New Hampshire, and they are dead even across the line. Eric Goodale keeping pace with Justin Bonsignore into turn number 1, pushes him up the racetrack. Goodale to the race lead for the first time today. Now Silk to the inside of Justin Bonsignore on the back straightaway.
Yeah, Goodale using a lot of the racetrack down into turn 1, and that forced Bonsignore to get out of the throttle, but he's able to maintain second place even with all those guys charging up behind him.
17-year-old Luke Baldwin in the 38 machine takes sole possession of third. Ron Silk and John McKennedy backpedaling on the inside lane of the racetrack. To the outside comes everybody else, including Trevor Catalano, Tommy Catalano in the mix as well, as that bottom lane moving backward. How about Chase Dowling in the 44 car? We have not talked about him at all today. His first run driving the Tineo number 44 has just moved into 5th.
Here's a move by Bonsignore as he takes a peek to the inside down into turn 1. He's able to make the pass. Goodale tries to set him up to get back around him, and the caution flag is out.
Caution is out for the third time today here at New Hampshire Motor Speedway. 50 laps in. Jake Johnson in trouble over in turn 2. As he went spinning, got stuck deeper in the pack by their pit strategy on pit road. Another look at it here as they go down into the turn. Johnson went up the racetrack. They got 3 wide for a moment, and then he and McKennedy came together as they ran out of room, and that was a vicious hit for the 79 of John McKennedy. Both right side tires up in the air.
They're shuffling all over the place, heading down into turn 1. 3 wide there for a moment as they race through the first and second turn, but Goodale trying to get away.
He's got a car length in hand over Justin Bonsignore as they hit the back straightaway. Tommy Catalano now in the 3rd spot. Luke Baldwin in the mix. Here's Bonsignore again to take over the race lead in turn 3. Side by side behind them for 4th as Chase Dowling, and we've got trouble. One car up in the air through the safer barrier to the high lane of the racetrack. Ron Silk also involved. I believe it's a Craig Lutz 46 that got up in the air through turns 3 and 4. And the caution flag is out, and there is Lutz, hit on every corner in that 46 as he went for a wild ride atop the fence in turn 4. Toyota pace car is in. Field rumbles off turn number 4 and sees a green flag. This time Eric Goodale decides to take the outside lane. He's got a good jump on the field in turn 1.
And he leads them all down into turn 1. We'll see how that outside lane does. Bonsignore trying to scrape his way back on the inside, and that number 51 gets a good launch out of turn number 2, but it's the outside line that'll lead him down into turn 3.
Tommy Catalano in that 54 car pushes Eric Goodale to the lead, and he said, I don't need to give Justin Bonsignore any drafting help. I'm going with the 58, and he now rides in 2nd.
Yeah, he's able to pick up that spot, but Bonsignore right there on the back bumper takes a peek to the inside, but at this point is satisfied to follow Catalano out of turn 2 and down the backstretch.
That car, one of the quickest on track, as is Justin Bonsignore. He wants to retake the lead and does in turn 3. Catalano could not quite get underneath Eric Goodale. He'll settle back in line as they come to the main straightaway.
Yeah, Goodale a little bit on defense that time, able to maintain the 2nd spot and follows Bonsignore down into turn 1. Not close enough to challenge for the lead as they head off turn 2 and down the backstretch.
Battle is on for the 4th spot, moving into the inside lane. This is Chase Dowling. And he's done it before. Now he's trying to win again for the Tinio family, who with Bobby Santos has won many, many races. Trouble in turn one for Andy Seiss. Hard hit for him off the end of the front straightaway.
Yeah, and he's another one that had a good run going here this afternoon or this morning, where he had started in the back and worked his way up towards the front, courtesy of the ambulance, as we watch the replay and see exactly what happened.
We'll see what happens. A little bit deeper in the pack. You see Seiss in the black number 70, and boy, he got hit on the straightaway. And it was Austin Beers trying to cut underneath the 70. Get another look at it here. It'll be just outside your frame, and boy, that was a hard hit.
Yeah,
by Austin Beers. Just absolutely misjudged it.
Ready to get at it once again as the pace car peels off down onto pit road, and they race down the front stretch under the green flag. Bonsignor will lead him down into turn one, and on that outside, here comes Chase Dowling in the 44.
Dowling trying to push Justin Bonsignor out front to take the second spot, and he does off turn number 2. So Dowling up to second. Then all of a sudden, Luke Baldwin is losing ground. He got shuffled out of line to the inside. He'll get drafting help from behind. That pushes him forward down into turn 3 and back into 5th.
Yeah, he drove in there deep and hard to try and stay inside the top 5. He's going to get that spot back, as much as Sammy Ramo gives him a little bit of a run for it out of 2. They're 3 wide on the front stretch.
Into turn 1. Eric Goodale looks to the inside, and there's contact. Goodale goes up the hill. Luke Baldwin is in it. Somehow, Chase Dowling able to keep that car pointed in the right direction, and the caution flag is out while battling for the second spot. 16 laps to go when they get the green flag, and the Mohegan Sun 100 as the field rolls through the restart zone.
There is the green flag, and there goes that inside row. It is the 51 of Bonsignor taking Emmerling with him down into turn 1.
Patrick Emmerling may be the best drafting partner in the field as he pushes Justin Bonsignor to the race lead, but Kyle Bonsignor in the 22 goes to the outside groove. He'll challenge for second on the back straightaway as Emmerling gives a big shot into turn 1. The Catalanos tied up in turns 1 and 2, and that'll bring out the caution flag for the 7th time. As they hit the back straightaway, let's take another look at what happened. The Catalanos, the 2 red cars in the bottom. Tommy Catalano got sideways, hit the back of his brother's car, who got sideways, and then they both came together. I wonder what that's going to be like on the ride home. Field coming to the green flag. It'll be 12 laps to go when they get the green. Pace car is in. Justin Bonsignor with help from Patrick Emmerling behind as they get the green.
Side by side down into turn number 1. Bonsignor by a length will lead him through the first and second turn and down the backstretch.
Kyle Bonsignor with a much better start that time will remain second. Gets the draft again from Patrick Emmerling. Sideways off the end of the back straightaway is a bit of contact. Bonsignor ropes it back in, and then Justin able to open up the 2 car length advantage.
Yeah, Kyle got a pretty good shot from Emmerling, who was pushing him down the backstretch, but able to keep it straight and race across the stripe. Again, Bonsignor 1 and 2.
How about drivers back into the mix? We were watching Jake Johnson in the 3 car. Ron Silk has now raced his way back inside the top 5 after that incident he had in turn 1. So Silk back up to 5th. And we saw the strength of his car in the early stages of this. Does he still have the magic to challenge for the win today?
Yeah, and this is important for him in his chase for the championship as he's able to get back up towards the front. These cautions have benefited him to gain positions, and with just 10 laps to go, he's making a charge back to the front.
Eric Goodale leading that draft in 3rd. Patrick Emmerling in the 1 car, the 16 of Ron Silk. Side by side behind is Tyler Ripma. Makes a surgence here at the end of this one to try to get inside the top 5.
And again, they race together, but they're not closing in trouble. That's Anthony Nocella up against the wall in the number 17. That's going to bring out a caution flag.
Let's watch this. The 32 of Ripkema on the bottom. Anthony Nocella in the 17 of the outside. They got down into turn number 3. And like we've seen many times today, the car just did not stick on the bottom. Ripkema drifted up, contact was made, and Nocella into the outside wall. The pace car will head for cover. Justin Bonsignor squaring off against his cousin Kyle Bonsignor on the front row. Through the restart zone, they're off and running as the green flag is out.
now with each of them a dancing partner with them. Goodale on the inside and Emmerling on the outside, right behind the Bonsignors as they race through the first and second turn. Advantage to to Justin Bonsignor.
Justin Bonsignor to the lead, midway down the back straightaway. It's Kyle Bonsignor and Patrick Emmerling. Now everybody closed up. That gap that they had built up before the caution has disappeared. The top three single file off turn 4. 2 laps to go at the line.
Across the stripe, it is Justin Bonsignor trying to repeat here in 2024. Has been leading a lot of this race today. And right now, with just now less than 2 laps to go, he'll take him down the backstretch.
Outside lane, Eric Goodale backpedaling as he is now losing position outside the top 5. Into turn 3, they'll see the white flag this time by Justin Bonsignor in command. Kyle rides second. Third, you've got the Emmerling number 1 and Chase Dowling in 4th. White flag is out in New Hampshire.
Last chance to make a move, and one of those doing that is the 44 of Dowling as he dives to the inside trying to get to the 3rd spot.
One more opportunity. Can Kyle Bonsignor set up Justin? Justin is away with a 3-car length advantage down the back straightaway for the final time.
Yeah, since that last restart, he's been able to drive away, and he's in a comfortable spot right now as they race through 3 and 4.
Off turn number 4, Justin Bonsignor looking for the checkered flag for the 2nd year in a row. Justin Bonsignor wins in New Hampshire.